So we take a look now at the tape for this next fight. Coming up, Roberto Meza versus Saul Banos. Kevin, we see the age difference there. Banos, the 4 years elder of Roberto Meza, but everything else looks pretty much identical. Roberto Meza having a half-inch reach advantage against Saul Banos. Both fighters pretty evenly matched. Banos overall with more professional fights than Roberto Meza. Meza having 12 fights in total. As fans are still cheering for Jorge Britos over that big upset win against Kevin Torres. Banos coming into this fight with 26 fights in total, having boxed 133 rounds as a professional, compared to Meza's 47 rounds as a pro and 12 total bouts. So a big difference in experience there between these two fighters. As we await now the ring introductions for both these fighters. As the music is cued. And Saul Banos, El Terrible, makes his way to the ring. Well, remnants of Team Chihuahuas right there, making their way out of the ring, as we expect for Saul Banos to come out at any moment now. The dog stance fighter is coming off 2 back-to-back losses. His last fight was in Mexico here in September of this year, losing to Victor Betancourt via a 10-round unanimous decision. This fight is scheduled for 10 rounds, so he's been a full 10 rounds. Prior to that loss, though, he suffered a 7th-round knockout to Victor Slavinsky in October of 2017. This is the second fight of 2018 for Banos. And there he is, making his way to the ring right now. Banos has been a pro for a good amount of time now. Has a notable loss to former flyweight champion Hernan Tyson Marcus back in July of 2016, which he lost via knockout in round number 4. As the music is now being played for Roberto the Ram Meza, coming into this fight with 11 wins, 1 loss, 6 knockouts to his name, 22 years of age from Temecula, California. He's a come-forward fighter, no frills about him. Pressure, 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 and throws volume, does the Ram. He last fought on September 28th of 2018, getting a 6-round unanimous decision over Gabriel Rodriguez in his hometown of Temecula, California. This fight, of course, for the WBF International title, 10 rounds scheduled in the super flyweight division. Let's take it up to Pablo Flores to get the particulars for our co-main event of the evening.
Damas y caballeros, Boriseca Boxing Promotions y VIP, the best in boxing, presenta el combate estelar de esta noche. Está pactado 10 rounds por el campeonato de la Federación Mundial de Boxeo Internacional de los Pesos Superpluma. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rock and roll with our main event of the evening. 10 rounds of boxing for the WBF International Championship Super Featherweight Championship. Sus 3 jueces, your 3 judges scoring this bout in ringside. Román Cruz, Antonio Villegas, Daniel López Rivera. And your third man at the bell, el tercero en la superficie, su referee, profesor Fernando Rentería. Ahora bien, amigos que nos acompañan a través de Fight Hub TV en YouTube y Best in Boxing en Facebook. Estamos en vivo desde la Big Punch Arena, desde la frontera más visitada del mundo, Tijuana, Baja California, México. ¡Ajusten sus cinturones! Enters into your first fighter standing in the blue corner, wearing black trunks with silver trim. He officially weighs in at 130 pounds. Presentando ustedes en la esquina azul, vistiendo pantaloncillo color negro con plata y oro, con un peso de 130 libras. As a professional, he stands with a record of 14 victories against 9 losses, 2 draws, and 8 of those victories coming by the fast way of knockout. Presenta un récord de 14 victorias, 9 derrotas, 2 empates y 8 de esas victorias por la vía del cloroformo. De Loreto, Baja California Sur, Saúl, el temible Banos. And his opponent across the ring is standing in the red corner, wearing black trunks with purple and white. He officially weighs in at 130 pounds. Y su oponente en la esquina roja, vistiendo pantaloncillo color negro con morado y blanco, con un peso idéntico de 130 libras. Cuenta con un récord casi perfecto de 11 victorias, 1 derrota y 7 de esas victorias por la vía del knockout. He stands with a record of 11 victories against 1 low defeat and 7 of those victories coming by the fast way of knockout. Hailing out of Temecula, California, USA, Roberto the Ram Meza. And here is with the final instructions para dar las indicaciones finales, su referee, el profesor Fernando Rentería.
Aquí, atención a las indicaciones, ya las leímos en los camerinos, así que van a hacer una bonita pelea. Choquen guantes, suerte, gana el mejor, cuídense muchachos.
And here we go, folks. Our co-main event of the evening. Best in boxing on Fight Up TV here at the Big Punch Arena in Tijuana, Mexico. Roberto the Ram Meza taking on Saul Terrible Banos. So begin round number 1. Meza with the black trunks with purple, taking on Banos, black trunks and gold trim. Meza, based out of Temecula, California. His last fight was a unanimous decision over Gabriel Rodriguez in his own hometown. Prior to that, he notched 2 stoppage victories here in the Best in Boxing. Though he's never stopped in one past the 5th round, this fight is scheduled for 10 rounds. 5 of his 6 stoppages have come within the first 4 rounds, so keep an eye out. If he's able to have his way, this fight will not go the distance. Saul Banos, as you see there, moving. Having his second fight of 2018. He's coming off of 2 back-to-back losses, wants to get back to his winning ways. Though he's going to have
looking real sharp with that jab.
Well, he's going to have a tough task in there with Meza. It's a guy that comes forward, man. This guy, he puts it on you, he'll put you through the ringer. Let's see how Banos will be able to deal with this sort of pressure coming from Meza. Meza acknowledging that, Banos acknowledging that Meza landed in a good few shots there just prior. Meza looks really fluid in there too, Brandon.
He's looking good, he's looking sharp.
Yeah.
Nice and composed.
Good hook there landed by the Ram. Throws a jab to the body. Another jab that lands right on the face of Banos. Banos seemed to have gotten rocked by that hook from Meza. He's going to want to draw on that experience. He's fought a lot of tough fighters, a lot of good fighters, and former world champions before. So he's going to want to use all that collectively to be able to hang in there with someone like Roberto Meza. Coming out of the final seconds of this round number 1. Good round for Meza. So take a look here at some action back from round number 1. Lead
Good
straight
lead
left.
right.
Landed, excuse me, folks. It's been a long night. Landed by Roberto Meza. The Ram ramming those shots there on his opponent. We'll see if he can notch the 12th victory of his career. Sole blemish in Meza's career up to this point came back in August of 2017. He lost to the undefeated Giovanni Mioletti, who knocked Meza down in round number 6. And Mioletti is a really good fighter. He's still going on to his winning ways right now at this point as a professional, and it was the first real opponent that Meza fought in his career. Meza sneaking a few jabs in there, got clocked just a while ago by Banos. All 3 of those punches being blocked by Meza. Banos tries to sneak an uppercut, lands that overhand.
Good left hook to the body by Meza.
Yeah. Found itself right on the mark, but Meza got clocked with that uppercut right there from Banos. Hook makes its way through, but Banos lands a straight of his own. Banos has a sneaky overhand. Meza needs to be careful not to lunge right into it. Banos has been trying to time him as he eats an uppercut there. Meza following it up. Banos able to get out of danger.
Good body shot by Meza.
Banos following up with 2 other shots to the body. Now it's him that's pushing forward. Quickly ties up though.
Banos
Good series of punches there from Banos. Meza needs to be careful not to just move straight back.
Good defense by Meza.
Yeah, showing good movement in there as we come in round number 2. Banos, though, having his moments here in this second round as well. We take a look at some of the highlights from this second round. Meza with an overhand. Follows it up with sneaky little uppercut there. And a series of punches, all landing on the face of Banos. Banos can't allow himself to get pinned against the ropes like that. Meza's just gonna tee off on him. Banos, 8 years as a pro so far. Debuted back in 2010. That's why he has so much more experience than Roberto the Ram Meza. We begin round number 3. Banos now the one attempting to move forward.
Beautiful jab on Meza. He keeps it on the outside. Using that shoulder roll.
Meza slipped that 1-2 punch combination. He's about to go into the southpaw stance, and then he corrected himself. 3-punch combination from there. Banos lunging in. Can't be doing that with an opponent like Roberto Meza. He's gonna clock you with an uppercut or a hook. Meza looks very composed in there. Relaxed, patient, taking his time, studying his opponent, landing his punches when he sees an opening. Banos again lunging. Lands that hook there, gets through the guard of Meza. Both fighters exchanging now. Not much power on these punches from Banos. Though he does have 7 knockouts to his name, hasn't scored one for a while.
Meza just sitting back on that back foot, waiting for him to come in.
Seems Banos adjusted a little bit better to the style of Roberto Meza as he lands a flurry of punches there. Veteran tactic here, holding the rope is Banos. Smart move there. Bernard Hopkins once taught me that. Don't see it often in pro fights.
There he goes at it again.
Yeah, there he goes at it again. Surprised the referee isn't telling him to stop that.
Can't see it.
Final 10 seconds here. Banos actually having a good round here against Roberto Meza. Seems to have adjusted a little bit better. Meza not as active as he was in the other rounds.
A lot more.
So we see here an exchange from both Meza and Banos.
Give and take by both. You need to watch how they clash. Those headbutts.
So look at the corner of Roberto Meza. From what you've seen so far, Brandon, What do you want each fighter to do in the fight for them to get the win?
For Meza, I mean, he's doing pretty good so far. I mean, sitting back on that back foot. I'd like to see Meza shoot that jab a little more often. Keep busy with it. You know, setting it up, opening doors for him, especially it's going to lead the gateway to the victory. More like Banos, I mean, sitting down a little bit more on the shots, putting some leverage behind those. A little bit more active. He's only throwing 1-2 shots, or when he's in the inside, he tends to throw a couple, but they're not full leverage shots.
Some fans here imploring Meza to stay busy and active. And as I say that, he launches a 4-punch combination there, though missed. Good jab there from Banos. Excuse me, Meza. Overhand there from Banos. Both fighters exchanging now. Good hook, yeah. From the ramming that hook to the face of Banos. Lands a lead left. Usually Meza's the one that's moving forward and forcing his opponent to move on their back foot, but Banos in these last 2 rounds been making Meza move a little bit. Gonna see a bit more of the movement.
More counters by
Roberto
Meza.
Meza. And that too. Nice little 2-piece there from Meza. It's Meza now letting his hands go a bit with Banos in the corner there. Banos is able to get out, continues to move forward. Not really effective with his attack in this round though. A lot of big overhand there landed by Meza. Excuse me, Banos. Banos is finding a home with that overhand right, Brandon. Why is he able to land that punch?
Meza tends to do those slight pivots, especially to get out the way, but lately he's been stepping back too many times. As you step back too many times, within more than one step, you tend to get caught with shots, especially when a person's coming in with overhand rights.
You take a look now at a replay here from some of the action in round number 4. Banos getting the better of the exchanges here in this clip. Just working to the body. Meza letting his hands go.
See how he just takes those steps back?
Yep.
Easily avoided just to pivot out.
Round 5 here at the Big Punch Arena in Tijuana, Mexico. Still to come, our main event, Chris Martin making his ring return against Yair Patino. Martin signing a 4-fight deal with us here in Best in Boxing. Looking to make one final push in a career that spanned over 15 years. As right now, the 2 men in the ring, Roberto Meza and Saul Banos. They are fighting for the WBF International title, another regional title. We had 2 other regional title fights occur here on our card. Banos coming forward with his attack, missing those punches though. Roberto Meza now finally digging back to the body. Like to see more of that from him.
Beautiful jab by Meza.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised. It's Banos has been coming forward, forcing Meza to move on his back foot. Kind of a difficult thing when you're the pressure fighter and then you get moved back on your back foot.
That gets to a point where you have to learn to adjust, especially with the person who's coming in forward. He's not throwing in full leverage shots, so it's a place where you have to learn how to manage whether to come forward, whether to fix it and adapt and box.
Definitely going to be a learning experience for Meza. As there's not a lot of power on these punches that are coming from Banos. Meza, the more solid of the 2 fighters. Every time he lands a punch, you hear the thud here ringside.
Good jab by Meza.
Banos, though, answering back, though. The combination of his own. Nice series of punches there from Meza, finally digging back to the body. Meza known as a guy who comes forward, showing a bit more movement here in this fight. So he's pinned there to the corner by Banos, but there's no power in those shots from Banos. So we take a look at some of the action here from this last round. Banos coming forward, missing those punches, but landing to the body. Meza answering back. We now begin round number 6. Banos, Meza, our co-main event here. Banos switching now to southpaw. Eats a straight. Let's see. Now he switches back to orthodox. I was gonna say, let's see what possibilities may come from him switching to the southpaw position. And when fighters do that, Brandon, what goes on through your mind?
As you start switching, I mean, you start trying to see what works best for a fighter, especially trying to adapt. I mean, what works best? I mean, can you switch? As you see here, they're both exchanging shots. You always want to try and find what works out best, but
Banos missing a lot of these punches. Hasn't landed anything really of consequence.
he's got to start sitting down on those punches.
Yeah. There's nothing that really have gotten the attention of the crowd here or the judges at this point. Meza has been the harder puncher, the flashier puncher. So if there is close rounds, you're going to want to give it to him due to that. Good movement there from Meza. Gets clocked there by a straight from Banos.
Stop stepping back.
It's a good thing about Meza though. When a punch does land on him, he responds. Is Meza now actually switching to southpaw? Stuffs Banos' movement there with 2 jabs. Switches back to southpaw. See, now he has Banos in the corner. Banos fighting his way out now. Doing some good work there on Meza. We get the 10-second warning here. Banos, Meza, another round in the books. At this point, it seems, Brandon, that the output of Meza has gone down a little bit compared to the first 2 rounds. He's usually a fighter that throws a lot of punches. Do you think that fatigue may be setting in right now with Meza or something else?
I mean, the rolls, especially since you are going to be going 10 rounds, I mean, that is something to consider. You can't go all the way out unless you hurt a person. I mean, you don't want to lose all that energy. You don't want to burn it all out if a person's not hurt or even manageable to take the person out.
Good jabs there from Meza. Follows it up to the body. Pokes another one at Banos' face. Banos trying to close the distance. Overreaching though, misses every single one of those punches there. The Ram now doing work to the body of Banos.
Banos coming back with the shots of his own.
Yeah, able to turn him around. Misses that big haymaker there, though. Banos putting together some combinations here. Meza doing a good job of covering up, holding and turning. It's now his turn. Try to put some work there on Banos. Banos slipping. Referee giving him a warning about pushing, which I always found weird about a fight. If you're in a fight, I don't see the big deal about a push. As Meza once again switching southpaw to orthodox, popping that jab. Doing a good job here of showing his boxing skills.
He's got to stay behind that jab. He's got to repeat his counters. Beautiful work, just like that.
Yeah, and he just can't allow Banos to tee off on him when he stays mobile in one spot. Banos there tries that overhand that he found success earlier in this fight. Doesn't quite land.
Banos starting to look a little frustrated.
Yeah, Meza really starting to use his legs here in this fight, switching stances as well. That jab has been really good for him as well. The
I like
crowd
him to
now,
use it a little bit more.
the crowd now getting behind Meza. Good straight there from Meza. Final 10 seconds. Banos lunging forward, missing those 2 punches. I don't see a sense of urgency from Banos, to be honest.
I don't see it either. I mean, I just see a face full of frustration. He's not being able to land the shots, and the shot that he is landing aren't with full force, full leverage.
There's some confusion here ringside as to what round it is. The ring card girl accidentally brought out round number 7 twice. We're now starting round number 8. The scheduled 10-round fight here at the Big Punch Arena in Tijuana, Mexico. A long night of fights here on Fight Up TV. Thank you for staying up with us and watching us. So we are still live, and in our main event, we will see Chris Martin take on Yair Patino. One more fight to go. 2 more rounds in this fight. Roberto Meza telling Banos to come forward. As he digs at the body there, sticking and moving. Switching stances, giving Banos and frustrating him with his movement. And different looks as well. Banos doesn't know what to do in there. One thing that Meza does well is when he throws a punch, it's a good quality punch. He picks the right punches to throw. He's just not throwing just to throw.
As he moves, he manages to keep his legs right under him, so every shot that he throws comes in with pretty good leverage.
Because there's one thing to just throw punches, but there's another thing to throw punches with intention. You just don't want to recklessly throw a bunch of punches. Straight lands for Meza. Follows it up with a hook. Good variety of punches we've seen so far in these 8 rounds from Roberto Meza. The Ram, as he's called, his moniker. Rammed a lot of shots to the body of Banos in the beginning of this fight. Now he's used his movement a lot more as this fight has gotten closer and closer to rounds 9 and 10. Banos once again with that overhand. It partially lands on the head of Meza. But whenever Banos gets Meza close like that, Meza just tees off on his body. The end of round number 8. And Brandon, we saw Meza come forward, really work a lot to the body, throw a lot of punches, and now we're seeing him move a lot. Obviously, it's frustrated Banos, and I like to see that in a fighter that he's been able to adapt on the fly, as we've seen it right now.
Well, Banos had a little bit of success when Meza was standing right in the middle. So it gave Banos a lot more success with him throwing his shots. Now Mesa's learning a little bit more to pick up the pace, especially just using his legs now. He can pick out his shots pretty much with good leverage, especially moving and not getting hit.
Let's take a look at some of the slick moves of
That
Meza.
left hook moves out of the way. Finally moving that pivot.
Gets hit there, but moves away from all these punches here. The Ram clasping his gloves. It's becoming round number 9. Entering the last 2 rounds of this fight. And that's a good thing that you like to see from a young fighter, Brandon, is the ability to be able to adapt and use multiple game plans in there. Especially so young in his career, he only has 12 fights at this point.
You always got to have more than one game plan.
And Roberto's a young kid, 22 years old, 47 rounds as a pro. He's never stopped anyone past the 5th round, so very unlikely that we'll get a stoppage in this fight or a knockout. He did go a full 6 rounds in his last bout, getting a unanimous decision over Gabriel Rodriguez. Banos having some success here. Meza just smiling, laughing it off, knowing that it hasn't done any damage to him whatsoever.
Banos coming back with his own
Yeah,
shots.
letting his hands go, but all those punches being blocked by the high guard of Meza. Banos is trying to get his legs in there.
Meza got to get back on his feet, get back on that bicycle.
Good little switch there from Meza. Pops the jab on the head of Banos. Good combinations to the body from Banos. It's clear to see as to why Meza is moving. Whenever he stops, Banos is able to fire off punches on him. Meza cracking Banos with the straight there moments ago. So we come now to the last 10 seconds of this round number 9. Banos moving forward, throwing an overhand right. Sneaks in an uppercut there as Meza dipping low, popping his jab out, and working his way out of that situation. So we take a look here at a replay of the action from this last round. Banos connecting with that one punch, but when he did, Meza firing back. Good back and forth action here from both these fighters.
Damas y caballeros, Boristeca Boxing presenta
Banos, though,
el round número
needs
10,
to be
el
careful
último
when he's
round, ladies
firing
and
up
gentlemen. This is
to
round
not
number
get caught.
10, your final round.
come down to the last and final round of this 10-round fight for the WBF International title. Roberto Meza, Saul Banos. The Ram, using his movement, his boxing, his ability to slip a lot of these punches from a charging Banos throughout this fight. It served him well. So he flicks a jab there. Banos attempting to change the momentum in this fight. Neither or fighter has landed anything that has hurt either or. The one thing that is clear is Meza is the superior boxer of the two. Lands a straight there on the head of Banos. Banos coming forward now. Moving left and right. Trying to avoid that jab that Meza's been so good and accurate with throughout this whole fight. And he pops it in again. Head goes straight back. See what kind of work Meza and Banos can do in here. The other times they've been in this position, they've gone back and forth as they are, or they were back a few seconds ago. Great defense there from Meza. He's not too worried about the punches that are coming his way from Banos. Banos will charge forward. Meza will just take a few steps back, throw that jab. Three-punch combination there from Meza. Misses that straight, but lands that hook as Banos comes in. Meza had a little bit more power, or sat down on his punches a little bit more. I think he'd have a little bit more success with the charging Banos. Series of uppercuts there. No response from Banos. No movement from the head of Banos. He's just coming forward at this point. He knows the end is near. As we come to the last 10 seconds now of this round number 10. Banos looks like he's going for broke, charging forward with punches. As 10 rounds are now in the books, Banos has his hands in the air. He feels he won the fight. Roberto Meza walking over his corner, all hugs and smiles. They're confident that their man will reign supreme here at the Big Punch Arena. How'd you see the fight, Brandon?
I see it all going forward towards going to the decision of Meza. Meza did everything he had to do. I mean, he put on the pressure. He let his hands go within the first couple of rounds, but finally decided it was a lot easier to use his legs, use his counters when he had to use to, let his shots go when they were needed to.
Let's take a look at the replay from this last and final round. A charging Banos, punches landing on the dome of Meza. It's because Meza's moving straight back, right, Brandon?
Yeah, he's moving straight back as well. You could have just either put your shoulder right up under him, hug him, wrap him up, wait till you get your first space amount to throw right back your shots.
This is the first time that either or fighter have gone 10 rounds in their careers. So kudos to them, showing that they can't go into deep waters and fight it out. So we're awaiting now the judge's decision for the winner of the WBF International title. One more fight to go That is our main event. The return of Chris Martin taking on Yair Patino. You see the ram there. See if he can ram another one in the win column here tonight. See, he's acknowledging the fans that it came out for him here at the Big Punch Arena.
No salute. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for 10 rounds of boxing, we now go to the judges' scorecards. Después de 10 rounds de combate, nos vamos con las tarjetas de los jueces. El juez, Judge Daniel López Rivera, he scores it 100 to 90, 100 a 90. Y los jueces Antonio Villegas y Román Cruz coinciden en tarjetas 98 a 92. These two judges have the same scores of 98 to 92. For your winner by the way of unanimous decision. Su ganador por la vía de la decisión unánime. El new WBF Featherweight International Champion. El nuevo campeón internacional de la Federación Mundial de Boxeo de Peso Pluma. Temecula, California. Roberto The Ram Meza. Y en este momento, Rey Armendáriz le hace entrega al fajín que lo acredita como el nuevo campeón internacional peso pluma de la Federación Mundial de Boxeo. Tenemos otro combate más, nuestro último combate de la noche, en unos minutos.